The purchasing process, I've heard some people say, oh, it's hard to buy commercial insurance. Is that true?
It's, the purchasing process is probably, it may be the biggest pitfall that we see out there. And the unfortunate thing is our industry has trained people over a long period of time how to buy insurance. And when we walk into a new potential relationship, oftentimes there's a stack of policies sitting on that table ready for us to take and copy and go and come back with lots of quotes. And that's what people are expecting. And again, it's our industry that's trained them to think along those lines. And unfortunately, people will bring in multiple brokers and ask them all to go do that.
Yeah.
What happens in that scenario is everybody brings something back. And we talked about the complexity of the policies themselves earlier and how language is different from one to the next, where you're left to be the expert to determine which of those policies actually is the best for your organization. 9 times out of 10, you're making that decision based upon the number in the bottom right hand, of the first page.
Yep.
And not necessarily thinking along the lines of, all of these other complexities. And guess what? All 3 brokers that have come in to give you their quotes, they all say theirs is the best. Because it is. So, our recommendation is one in which you actually interview brokers. And it's almost like you're interviewing your own internal vice president of risk management and insurance.
Yeah.
You need to think along those lines. Would you hire somebody that you don't trust? Because you don't want to end up with the 3rd best broker who might just happen to have the best price.
True.
The reality is most sophisticated brokers have access to the majority of the marketplace. We're going to bring a variety of different quotes to you, a variety of different options to you. And if there's one person that's controlling that process, and there's transparency in that process, and there's trust in that process, you are going to get the competition you were hoping for created in the insurance carrier marketplace.
By the person who you trust.
By the person who you trust. And that person's going to be able to lay out the differences between carriers. And some of those are quantitative and some of them are qualitative. Different levels of claim service, different levels of loss control, different levels of resources that you can take advantage of as a business to reduce your total cost of risk in your organization.